We're finally getting to put our irrigation system to use. Now, if you remember last year, with the help of our sponsor, James Moore of the Water Store in Tulsa, we took on a major endeavor in putting in about 30 stations or systems of irrigation. Now, one of the ones that we've just put in that we've not shared with you yet is a drip emitter type for our hanging baskets, and Alan's joining me to give us the lowdown on this. Now, Alan, what are the basic needs of this type of system? What materials do we need?
Well, first off, let's start with a header line. That's where everything kind of ties into. We have several fittings. Ours is, again, through the Buckner, which donated most of our stuff, also donated some of our pieces for the drip. But there's pressure fittings, and they just fit over. This one is a female hose thread coupler, which will fit onto any garden hose or hydrant. And then they come in T's and end caps. And the end caps are important because it lets you flush the system before you really get it in operation and clean out any materials that might clog it.
Now, what size is this, Alan?
This is normally about a 1/2 inch. Some of the drip tubing will vary in different sizes, and it might not be a true 1/2 inch. Like this is 0.06 ID inside diameter, so it's a little larger, 1/10 of an inch larger in diameter than a 1/2 inch.
Now, this is our main line, so we're going to put our emitters on the main line, and we need particular tools to do that.
Yeah. Well, first off, we might need a pair of scissor shears to cut the header line, and maybe a pair of scissors to cut your drip tubing. But to puncture the holes in the line, the manufacturer sells several different things. This is one that is used to cut a little hole out of the header line, or here's one that is used to just push into the line. Here's another one that cuts a little hole out of it. You just clamp it over the line and then turn it and it cuts a hole. Some of the ideas that I came up with that some people told me about is take an awl, a real sharp awl, and wrap a piece of tape so it doesn't go all the way through your piece of header line. You can use a drill and a drill bit, or you can sharpen a nail and again put some type of stop on it like a piece of tape. But always one thing that you want to remember is buy you some goof plugs in case you drill a hole where you don't want it. And you can just plug it with a little plug that we have here.
Now, there are several types of emitters that you're using. The most important part next, in addition to the main line, is what I call spaghetti tubing. There are other names too.
Yeah, it comes in various different sizes and textures. They come in 100-foot rolls, 25-foot rolls, just to meet whatever need you want. This is one drip tubing that we use, or emitter, and it plugs into our header line here and then feeds down through, and this is actually where the emitting is done. And this is about a 1 gallon per hour, and it's leaded, so it just can drop right into your hanging pot.
And then this is what you're poking into the main line.
Yeah, this is what we're poking into the main line. Then this one will let you use any length. This one's pre-made. They come in 18 to 24, 36 inches, 48 inches. This one will let you use any length you want to, and you cut it to fit, and it drops right into a pot and emits about 1 gallon per hour. They come in anywhere from a 1/2 gallon per hour to 1 gallon, 1.5, 2 gallons per hour. And then we get over here to another set of emitters. These plug in and emit at the point where you want them to emit. The regulation is done at this point. These, all the regulation is done right off the header line. All these plug right into the header line, and then you run a spaghetti tubing or a supply line to your plant. So all the emitting is done right here at this fixture. And they all plug in. There's a multi-outlet. This has 6 different places that you can go with it. Like if you have a bunch of plants in one grouping, you can run all different lengths of spaghetti tubing out to your plants.
And these are just different mechanisms to control the pressure, I guess, or the amount.
The amount that comes out.
Now, this one, since it's weighted, it will stay in there. This one has a kind of a stake then that you stick down in the pot, and you can direct the flow to the plant there too. So you're using both of them. Now, found it interesting, you just commented about that some of them are being overwatered more than others based on the size. Why is that, you think?
Well, just different pots have different water holding capacities. We have anywhere from a 3-inch clay pot to a 12-inch hanging basket. And of course, you know, we have different sized plants in there, but the 12-inch hanging basket will store more water on it than the little clay pot.
So to correct that problem, what are you going to try to do, you think?
I'm going to try different different types of emitters. This one will produce a gallon per hour. I might drop down to half a gallon for the bigger ones and go up to a 2 gallon for the smaller ones.
The ones that are drying out quicker.
Yeah.
Now, show us some of the pots and how you're coming out of our main connection and valve box there, Alan.
Well, we started out coming out of a drip valve box, which, to remind you what's in there, is electronic solenoid valve that goes to our controller, a Y strainer, and then a pressure regulator. And then out of that, we teed off, and we have 2 switches. One goes to our soaker hose for our ground planting. Another one comes over here to this switch, and it's for our drip line that comes up, and we've hidden it behind our post. And that's what's nice about this, is you can hide it about any way you want to. And then we've come out of our header line with our spaghetti tubing and into our pot with one of our leaded emitters. And it just drops right into our pot, and it stays right nice there. Then we've come up behind the post, and then we've gone either way down to our fence or over and down to our deck. And we water all the containers on our deck off of this one system.
Okay.
Very flexible, Steve.
Right, and it's been a nice addition because, again, these are the plants that require the most water and attention of anything that we have. Now, and the other thing I found interesting too is that we don't have to have the extensive system. If we've got a hydrant at our home, we can do the same thing. You just need to buy similar attachments, one that would regulate the pressure and a filter or a Y strainer again to keep it from clogging up. So you could adapt the same principles even if you don't have an irrigation system. So Alan, it looks good. We appreciate all your work again, and maybe some ideas that you want to try at your own home or landscape.